Gill Alexander, Kelley Bydlon as well in the house. And, of course, we do it earlier now, just, about 15 minutes earlier. Unscripted with the crack man, Bill Krackomberger. And it goes a little something like this. Get it. Billy.
Hey.
How you doing, man?
Good. I lost 4 pounds so far. It's a little hot in here.
Could sweat it out of you.
Yeah. No, I understand, though. My wife calls, says, put the lights up high. I get it.
Oh,
it's good.
Man. We got to talk one thing before we talk anything else.
Hey.
Hacking.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, hack a casino, not hack a shack.
Hack a casino.
Yeah. How about the Caesars paying the $30 million? I was thinking, how can you pay? Why would you pay? And someone very smart said to me, you have to pay. I said, what do you mean? He said, well, they'll get their IT department in there. They'll fix the system so they think it's not hackable again, but they do pay. And he reminded me of some places offshore that paid giant things in the past.
Yeah.
One of the biggest sports books paid a giant amount too.
What we're referring to, by the way, for those who missed sort of the headline here, is that this week MGM Properties has been hacked, holes in their cybersecurity. And if you go to any MGM property, not just here, by the way, any MGM property anywhere, like a global sort of thing, there are systems, and I'm talking about massive systems, that are down. 2 days ago, the Sportsbook, they wouldn't even let you in at the Aria. Yesterday they did, but like I was explaining on air yesterday, I went to take out food at Din Tai Fung at Aria. You're not allowed to take out food. You're allowed to dine in, but we can't do anything about takeouts. If you go to the cafe, right, all the signs are down. ATMs aren't, and those are the benign ones. The ATMs aren't working. Guests can't check into rooms.
Yeah, how about the front desk? It's on your honor.
Yeah.
No, I'm not joking.
That was the one I read about yesterday.
I read about
tweets.
It's on, like literally on your honor. One of the employees put something they shouldn't have put on Twitter. But one of the employees put it on there, and of course I'm repeating it. But it was literally checking in on your honor. I was like, they'll take the credit card number and charge it when the systems come back up. Wow.
I heard they had security guards standing at the door asking people, "Are you checking out?" And like that.
Oh, right.
Basically,
I heard about that too.
on your honor system. Hey, are you checking out?
Yeah.
And so what Bill was referring to is that this apparently happened. This is according to Las Vegas local. Is it Las Vegas Locally? Is that the name of the Twitter?
Yeah, that's a good Twitter. That's a really good Twitter handle. I don't know who it is, a guy or a girl. But
great job.
It's a great Twitter handle.
But
Las Vegas Locally.
The report was that this happened to Caesars, and Caesars paid the $30 million just to have this go away. And we never heard about it.
Yes.
But now, do you remember, like I was bringing this up yesterday, do you remember after the Super Bowl how everybody, there was no money in anybody's accounts? I wonder if that was when it happened.
Interesting.
I don't, because people were worried at the time.
Wow.
So I don't know.
I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I had zero amount.
Wishnev was like, it was like texting every hour on the hour, where's my money? And I was like, it'll be fine. But who knows? Maybe that was it. But they don't know if employees, I was talking to some MGM employees yesterday, they don't know if they're going to get paid at the end of the week.
Actually, I think I seen Las Vegas Locally posted that one was one thing they did. They said everyone's getting paid.
Everyone's getting paid.
Yeah, that's what I seen last night. I read. Yeah, you can't penalize the employees. I mean, even though it's something that they would probably be.
Well, I didn't mean penalize. I mean just didn't have the
penalize people live week to week.
Yeah.
People live week to week. Let me just tell you something.
Oh, yeah.
In this gambling town especially, a subject people don't like to talk about. We're in a gambling town. We're in vice capital. Drinking, drugs, woman, gambling. Sorry, ma'am. I don't mean to say. But we are in a town that's vice central. So, yes, these employees, lots of them live week to week. You guys seen Casino. I mean, you've seen the little man, or the real life's name's Tony Spilotro, loaning money to the dealers and the floor people and stuff because they live week to week. So, no, this can really hurt people. Amazing the directions this show can go.
Let me just, well, I figured it was something we had to talk about. Let me just ask this, though, and maybe I'm ignorant completely about this, but shouldn't companies of this size, right, regardless of we're talking about the biggest of the big here with MGM and Caesars, wouldn't companies of that size pay top dollar
you would think
for cybersecurity?
Listen,
like just as a baseline for everything.
Gill, you would say that, but yet I have had problems in casinos where I needed security to come help. And they send an 80-year-old security guard who I want to help. I want to actually hold him up. Never mind. You know what I mean? Like, so no, the casinos do not pay well.
Yeah.
On all different levels, casinos do not pay well. That's why sometimes you need unions, you need people stepping in. Now, I'm not saying it because I know waitresses here compared to waitresses home. I'll always consider home in Jersey. Waitresses here, and they're going to get mad at me for saying this, they're in a union. They get paid really good money per hour, and then of course they live on their tips. A good waitress at a place like the Wynn or a Resorts World or a good strip property, they're making 6 figures a year. So I'm not trying to say really across the board, but certain departments, it shocks me. I've had problems in casinos, in the past, and trying to help people, trying to break up a fight in resorts in Atlantic City.
Oh yeah.
I was at Arizona Charlie's over here. I know, what am I doing there? But I was at Arizona Charlie's, and there was a big problem in there with the hustlers and fleas, and I wound up being the bad guy in the end. They wound up literally wanting to throw me out because I'm telling them how to do their job. So different casinos, it's amazing. You would think they would pay top dollar. It's a great subject, but that's why I wondered why Caesars paid. I was like, well, don't you just revamp your system and maybe try to get in and try to fix it? No, because every day it's costed them more than $30 million.
Yeah.
System-wide. You could imagine with MGM. Now you're telling me. I thought it was just Vegas.
No, it's more than Vegas.
It's surprising they didn't pay $100 million already and just get it over with. And then have guys go in there and revamp the system and hire the top guys in the world, the best, hackers from. By the way, they're probably overseas. You know that. They're not in the country.
I'm not smart enough to know if they'll ever get caught, but it feels like they'll never get caught.
There was some group that's already taken credit that yes, I believe was based overseas for it. The only thing I could think of with the Caesars one was, is it one of those where you say, hey, I want this number, and we're going to help you guys out afterward, because if we can get into your system, many other groups like us can. And maybe that's another incentive for, a company like Caesars to pay up. I don't know. I'm just guessing.
No, but it's something that really, this opens a lot of people's eyes, especially if Caesars paid. This opens a lot of eyes. Like, wow. Are we really in 2023? We're not at a point where we can't get that top-level IT department. It's above IT, actually.
But haven't you ever talked to someone who's in their, I'll just use 70s or 80s as just sort of a blanket, but somebody who's obviously lived most of their life, who even before this, with the advent of just everything moving to electronics, right? Electronic banking, right? Where before it was all, you could touch and feel. But just the notion of everything being digital and online, that they lamented this from the beginning. They're like, I don't like where this is headed.
Yeah.
And this is sort of the biggest manifestation of it here. A company of this size that can get hacked so easily like this. And everything, if you go into any of those casinos, it's startling to see the signs they have to put up, hey, sorry, we're diligently trying to go after this, but we don't know. And imagine the people who are here just for the week. Stepping into that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there was a concert. Don't quote me. I don't know the guy's name. I'm sorry. He's a real popular guy that canceled this week. Kelley?
Ed Sheeran.
I knew that you would know that for some reason. But and so Ed Sheeran's sold out show, I'm guessing?
Sure.
Yeah. Kelley was going to go. I want to know. Sold out.
We'll stand in a line for hours.
No, but that was an electronic issue or something. He was there because he was signing autographs in the stadium for a lot of the fans. But people plan, like he just said, people came here just to see Edge. Let's face it, concerts. People come here just for concerts.
Wait, so the show got scrapped?
Yes,
the whole show got scrapped.
I thought he bailed.
There was an electric. No, he was there.
Oh, okay.
There was an electric problem where they couldn't get the stage to settle, where they couldn't fix it. The hydro problems or lifts, or they couldn't get the stage right. And he got it canceled.
Yeah,
people were really hurt.
Yeah.
Like he's a big star.
Oh, sure.
And people were really upset about him not being able to.
Well, at least it wasn't his fault. There's some.
No, it wasn't his. But it was an electrical. Look, their whole vacations.
Yeah.
It was like Adele when people came here just for her that weekend, and she canceled because she stubbed her toe or something.
Well, yeah, that was a little more. She had a little more reason to get the incoming than Ed Sheeran did. Yeah. She made a decision that wasn't so. Well received.
Right.
Anita Baker, Babyface, for those who are familiar with that little tangle as well. Some of these musical artists are divas beyond belief. We'll come back. Crack is in Survivor. We'll find out how he did week number 1. That and more, unscripted, right here on a Numbers Game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network. Hour number 2 of a numbers game at VSiN, the Sports Betting Network, VSiN.com, the VSiN app, Game Plus, iHeartRadio, YouTube TV, all proudly, of course, brought to you by DK and Bar Canada here at the D, downtown.
That's right. I always it's always amazing to me how quickly you realize that, but is it because you see me talking over here or something?
How quickly I realize what?
That you did when you're doing a wrong read, you did the wrong read.
Oh, no, I'll tell you why I realized it.
I feel like you pick it up halfway through every time.
Then I lift up my head and I say, oh, it's 8 a.m. Wow, that was the wrong time.
Usually not a reading.
The reason that's happening is we now have Bill Krackomberger on 15 minutes earlier.
Yeah.
We used to go 8 to 9. Now it's 7:45 to 8:45 Pacific, 10:45 to 11:45 on the East Coast, and we're damn proud to have him, the Crackman, Bill Krackomberger, who can be followed at Bill Crackman with a K on Twitter. You're also doing this new Fox show. Explain.
Yeah, this is the second year.
Yeah.
Fox Sports Radio nationwide, over 500 networks, Sirius, satellite radio, and so we're, and by the way, I'm on with Jeff Schwartz, former NFL. You've talked with Jeff. You know Jeff.
Yeah.
And Brian, we're on every Sunday morning, 7 to 10 a.m. Vegas time, 10 to 1 Eastern time. And they got us doing some remotes, traveling around the country on the weekend to a couple games. And it should be fun, another fun season there. You know, we talk shop. Those two guys talk from their, you almost have like Brian, who likes to gamble and enjoys himself. And, then you have Jeff that actually does. He likes to gamble too. So it's good to have me on there to try to show those guys a little pointer. Listen, I'm not going to probably make them. I shouldn't say that. Last year was a sick year. We can never match last year what we did winning wise. But you probably just try to make people lose less. I'm going to say, because they give their opinions too, and you just don't want to follow anyone blindly, including me. Do your research. So if we talk shop every weekend. So it's fun. It's a fun show. 7 to 10 Sunday mornings, and I'll say it. I don't know how anyone does a show 5 days a week. 1 day a week, and it's tough. You guys, more power to you.
What kind of schmuck would do a show 5 days a week, Bill?
I'm sorry, and I don't mean 3 hours, but it's tough. It's tough. I don't. You guys. I don't know how this guy was doing what he was doing.
Oh, the 2 a days.
2 a days.
That was. That's like. No, that was crazy. I honestly don't know how. I look back on it, I don't know what that was.
Very important to me right now. Someone tweeted something. He's absolutely right. Very, very important to me. I didn't want to put this out there the wrong way, ladies and gentlemen, about saying people are making a lot of money in this town and with union. I was on the opposite side of the spectrum. People aren't getting paid enough across the board. This guy said something. He's absolutely right. I'm going to repeat it. He tagged us both. Took Sky High. To clarify about the waiter-waitress pay in Vegas, there's a stark difference between union servers and the majority of restaurant servers in Vegas, including on the Strip. There's only a small handful in relation to how many restaurants there are in Las Vegas that actually pay unionized and have good pay for their employees. As a former restaurant employee on the Strip, just want to make sure people don't think good restaurant pay is the norm. He's right. This is not saying that. I didn't say that, though. I said waitresses at certain casinos. So, but it doesn't matter. He's right. It's good because people can easily mistake that. We all know that waitressing and waitering, oh, God, that's a tough job. Trust me, I've had these type of jobs when I was a kid. It's tough living. So I understand you have to depend on pay. And you know what? Sometimes you're depending on pay from certain – it's amazing compared to New Jersey, compared to Nevada, for many different positions, because out here the dealers get paid a little bit more. And I mean, you know what, they get like $5 an hour. New Jersey, they get like $2.50 an hour. That's all. That's all you get for being a dealer. $2 depending on your tips. So, but other jobs is the exact opposite. So you're depending on tourist dollars here, where sometimes you're back there, you're depending on, the locals coming down, but also the New Yorkers, Philadelphia, and people like that kind of throw money around a little bit looser sometimes. Here it's more of a tourist, people with a budget. So it's very, very difficult positions. And I know what they are because, trust me, I worked a lot of them. So anyway, I wanted to
let me read some tweets. We get tweets at Beating the Book. This is from Nash, at last name Nash. He says, I took more Strider this week because I respect my bookmaker and want them to do well. You're welcome for the year-long donation. Hey, man, I hear you. Brian M. For guessing lines on Monday, you should have a special guest named Andrew Chris, who has a wonderfully fake mustache and a mullet wig. All right, we'll put that in the suggestion box as well. Pat Taylor, loving Bar Canada at the D, blaring some Billy Joel as Paul Carr drops some EPL knowledge on us. Oh, yeah, it's a great playlist here of of an eclectic nature.
We actually had but there's been some bangers this morning.
Bangers.
I don't know what's going on right now. But.
Let's see. John Burgo. I hopped on at 10:15 Eastern. Mr. Tennis Play. Mind sharing? Yeah, I'm on Sophia Kennan today. Bruce Dobig is Paul Carr coming back. He was just with us. So he is probably Thursdays now. Kelley, you thinking?
Yeah, we got a lot of guests on Friday for football season long, so probably be doing a lot of the Premier League conversations with Paul on Thursdays. Yep.
Chance Copperpot, do I dare bet the Vikings again after they let me down last week, the first week of Survivor? I want to take the points, but it's the Vikings.
Can't bet it now. Can't bet it now, Chance.
Because it's 6.
Yeah.
You had more than that all week.
Yeah. No, you can't bet that game, in my opinion. Now, hey, I got tagged on a thing, and I'm trying to find it. Someone asked a question. He's very big in the poker world, and his question was, because he's a poker player. He's not a sports bettor. So he tagged me, and he asked me about he got a text that said all Aaron Rodgers bets will be refunded.
Oh, yeah.
So he asked me something, and I'll tell you what, if the way he worded it, of course I can't find it. Alan Kessler is his name, though. The Chainsaw is his nickname. I've known Alan for 25 years. But Alan, I want to tell you now, if they are telling you that you are not getting paid on a quarterback under yardage or something, no, I don't agree with that. I think you should get paid. By the way, I don't know the way most sports books are grading this. I'm not, because I wasn't in that market with the quarterback. It's nice for you to get refunded. But by the way, I probably wish they didn't even start that precedent. But it's nice to get refunded.
Let's talk about that for a second. Yeah.
He's saying, the way he worded it to me, and I can't find his text right now, his tweet. The way he worded it, he's not getting paid on under yards.
No, you should absolutely get paid on under.
Under yard, under everything. The guy started. Usually it's worded, the player must start for action. That's BS. If they're not paying, get a new book.
The broader question comes down to the whole nature. We've talked about this before, but since it comes up again with the Aaron Rodgers Achilles injury, and so much has come up with that, including the whole debate of turf versus grass. So this injury has sparked a lot. But from the sportsbook standpoint, you have some sportsbooks who decided to refund anybody who had an Aaron Rodgers over bet in terms of yardage or that kind of thing. And yes, if the shrapnel is that some of the underbettors didn't get paid,
that's what he's saying.
Wrong.
I found it.
That's wrong.
Yeah, they're not paying.
Right. But just in general, we've talked about this before, but it's been a while. The notion of refunds, obviously, this cannot happen in the state of Nevada. You're not allowed to do it in the state of Nevada by gaming regulation. But since PASPA was ruled unconstitutional and other states have gotten legalized betting, there are states where apparently sportsbooks, not apparently, but they are allowed to do this. And so as a way to get around a marketing cost, right, they will do this thing where they refund bettors, and the more newish, the more amateur bettors who are new to the betting game will oftentimes view this, perhaps, we don't know, as a reason to like one sportsbook over another. Hey, look, they refunded me. Oh my God, this place is great. And listen, typically this is just, there's an accounting benefit on the sportsbook side for this, to do it this way, because they're not giving you your money back. They're giving you a free bet, which is not the same thing at all.
Right.
And I guess my question is, okay, it's happening. It's been happening. Isn't this a slippery slope that only ends poorly?
Yes.
In other words, if I had another injury that happened in that game, could I then cry about it and say, wait a minute, you refunded those guys, why aren't you refunding me?
That's the big problem. Some
Right.
people are saying, well, how come you didn't do this? This happened.
Right.
And that happened. And you know what? It's a nice gesture on the sports books, though, to give you your money back. It makes them look better. It makes the people feel that, they get, it builds some brand loyalty maybe. But in the end, it confuses a lot of people, especially new people to the market, that say, well, I'm not playing with A sports book because B and C refunded this.
But that's what I mean.
Meanwhile, A has great teaser odds, maybe great correlation parlays they take, whatever. So they don't even realize that. People don't even care about that. People care about only certain things. You have so many people that are new to this market.
But here's what I would say, though, and I'm even saying this to sports books. You shouldn't do this because it's going to end bad. It's going to end poorly. And do you believe that at some point there's going to be an incident of sorts where, I don't know if a someone's going to take it to gaming or whatever the case. If it's somebody else that got injured in the game, if it happened later in the game and they decided, oh, we're not going to refund that, but hey, wait a minute, you refunded it after 4 plays the other day, whatever. Something's going to happen in some state. Won't states eventually step in?
Point.
Won't they step in eventually and say, we can't do this anymore?
The best thing you said there was because of the 4 snaps. So let's say it happens on 2 snaps to somebody, or let's say that's very good, and they don't refund it.
Well, it's inconsistency.
You did
right?
this, you didn't do this. What happened here? How come that? But then again, I've had my.
Won't states step in on this?
What game?
Won't states step in on this at some point?
I would think.
Stop doing this.
I would think they'd have to, but let me just tell you something though. Gaming this is still a new thing to gaming.
Yeah.
You have good luck finding a gaming agent in a new jurisdiction that knows what 11 to 10 is.
Yeah.
Never mind even refunding a bet loss.
I could tell you a gaming story or two.
No, I mean it's just listen. I'll call gaming for certain things. I have their number on my phone.
Yeah.
But it's very hard to win a gaming case against one of these factories.
Don't I know it? Coming back, more Unscripted with the Crack Man next. It's Gill Alexander. It's Kelley Bydlon. It is Bill Krackomberger. Survivor.
Okay.
How many do you start with? How many you lose?
Before we get into that, you said something just.
Please. Yes.
You said something about something that made me think of yesterday. So yesterday, there's a guy on Twitter that's he says he rates podcasts or whatever. Mm-hmm. So I did a podcast in Canada with a good group up there of guys that Circles Off group. I did a podcast up there with one of the guys named George. I seen his story once and I liked it. I followed him. He followed me back. He's like, oh my God, Craig, thank you for the follow. Can I get you on one of the shows? I said, sure. So I went on there, and it was like kind of this show. We talk shop. It's kind of unscripted. I said, he sent me like 10 questions. I said, George, just ask me anything.
Yeah.
Better off than because I have to remember the questions. I'm not going to have set answers. Just ask me anything. I'll if I don't like the question, I'll lead you in another area. Don't worry, without answering it.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of my specialties. But no, to be real serious though. So I talked about some things I've never talked about on any shows, personal things I do, and things how I grew up, what I did. I'm one of the only guys that like to talk about being a loser. I was a loser before I was a winner. So that's what I did. So a lot of times people will pick on that because we talk about that, and I'm not a guy that brags about winning or anything, and so it's not what I do. So sometimes they'll say, well, is this guy a loser or a winner? So this particular podcast thing, rating service, he's got 150 followers. Anyway, he said, oh, I rate that 2 out of 10 because of what you didn't give me those sports picks. So
some people are going to always want picks.
Yeah, he's like, no, it just didn't mean nothing to me. I want to tell you about my answer to him because I sent him a DM, and of course, just like most of these guys under anonymity, didn't send one thing.
The courage and
anonymity. So it's all about being. I said, buddy, it's all about being relatable and talking about where I came from, and more importantly, teaching the up and coming about responsible gaming. Because I talked about that a little bit on there. I said, you want analytics? You want Revenge of the Nerd, Gilbert, Poindexter, and Booger type shows that put you to sleep? There's plenty of them out there too.
Poindexter on the microphone. You know that reference, Gill?
No, I'm just, I'm not trying. I'm just saying, like, there's plenty of them out there. And by the way, they are good. I'm not making fun of them. There's a couple shows. Listen, of course, guys some people that talk analytics don't talk in the human English language. Of course not. They talk XYZ, but you have to just take little nuggets of information out of those. And I'll tell you what, there's some good ones out there. And I'll give you one. Your Megapod.
Hey!
I left. I left.
I was like 10.
Oh,
9,
really? No. I left last week, and I listened to your Megapod with Fez.
It's phenomenal.
He
was phenomenal.
I couldn't really hear much off of because of Wishnov buttoning, but it doesn't matter. They had the over/under. You guys you or him, someone put an over/under.
Fezzik, 8.5, he said, or something like that. Yeah.
Way over.
By the way, today, after the show, Adam Chernoff on the Megapod today.
Now there you go. Now look, now you have someone
beating the book Megapod.
Now you have someone that's very smart.
Yeah.
Someone that's in the business that actually is a winning sports bettor.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's just the difference back and forth.
Well, but you said something there, which if we talk about sports betting media in general, like I'll put Chernoff on the short list of this as well. And Drew Dinsick is another guy. There are very few people, right, who can communicate some of the great information. Right? So you have people in sports betting who are one of two things. They either are just like brand new and they proclaim themselves experts and then they talk, right? Or there's the super duper duper smart people who are so smart that they can't really communicate what they're trying to say.
Yes.
I won't name any names.
No, of course.
Right? But
Yeah.
there's a very small group, and Chernoff is one of them. Drew Dinsick is another one. I point to those two guys.
Chernoff definitely, listen, it's
who are
simple.
able to bridge that gap.
Yes. If you're working this full-time, if you have a full-time job and you're going to come on and say you're a pro and say you're a pro and you do, you're also a pro, you're a winning sports bettor, you're a pro, listen, I'm sorry, I don't believe you. I don't believe you're doing your own work, working a 40, 50, 60-hour-a-week job, and then you come on the weekends and weekend warrior and then go on a couple shows and say you're a winning sports bettor. I don't believe it. I don't buy it. So yes, I know that these guys are they're full-time guys. Adam is definitely.
By the way, did we talk about this on air? I think we did, probably, so I don't want to repeat it, but it was about that Bet Bash panel with Bazzola from Circles Off was on there, but Darren Ravel was on there, and Darren Ravel, who I have no reason to like whatsoever, he's plagiarized my tweets back in the day when I was a nobody. He had no problem doing that, but he took a lot of incoming, and one of the moments on that show, on that panel, was that Pizzola, who I love also, but he was talking about how, we all know that these two guys on Twitter are winning bettors, and Ravel called him on it and said, why do you know that? Why do you know that? And Rob was like, well, I think everybody agrees. No, you don't know anything. You don't know. And that was like, if I were the moderator of that panel, I would have stopped it and I would have said, point to Darren Ravel on that, because that is a true.
Interesting.
That was too much of an echo chamber for that panel, I thought. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of, listen, all these social media platforms, Twitter, TikTok, Instagram, they're full of people who you think may, that say they win. Or there's a guy on. Now, there's some guys on there I enjoy to watch because they're so full of themselves and they're out there. I am the chosen one. I am 13-1. They're funny things, but these kids, unfortunately, they believe this stuff, and there's so much. Most people are lying if they say they win.
What is your survivor status, sir? How many did you start with? How many you got?
I lost on Seattle and I lost on Minnesota. I lost 2 of 10.
2 of 10.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you only had singles on each of them.
Yeah.
How many different plays did you make in those 10?
I had Washington on 6 and Baltimore on 2. That's it.
We all got lucky on Washington.
I want to tell you something. At one point, during the first half of these games, 80% of the pool looked like it was going to be eliminated. No, seriously, it was unbelievable.
You remember last year, week 1, 56% got knocked out.
It looked like that we were headed to that direction.
It did.
Oh yeah. No, let me tell you something too. Even though I had Washington, when we had a guy that the BetMGM host our show, when the head trader came on Sunday's Fox show and said, I've been in this business for 20 years plus. I've never seen so much one-way action as the day before Colorado and Washington Redskins. He said, we're 90%. I can't make the line more appetizing enough.
Wow.
We're 90. We're not going to move off 7. We'll go -7, -25. We'll even give you a scalp. We're 90% on. We need Arizona 90%. Immediately when we go at the end of the game, at the end of the show, I give out a game, and I don't like to do sides, but I said, listen, I got to go on the sportsbook side. I actually wind up taking Arizona in a bet. So
Arizona did everything to gift that game.
Yes.
To watch it. It was like the old Eddie Murphy sketch where you go ahead and take the newspaper.
Listen, Circa had 7.5 on that, by the way. People, those little half a points around the 3 or the 7 here in town, living in town, normally I'll find that at the stations, a Boyd, one of those joints that kick you out. But you actually had 7.5. I was shocked. How much money they must take on a bet to move from 7 to 7.5, Circa?
Oh,
wow.
By the way, the difference between here and like at East Coast, they'll take a bet.
Yeah.
Some of these East Coast shops, they really will not take a bet.
Oh,
it's just incredible.
It is incredible.
Who do you like in Survivor this week with your remaining 8?
I'll tell you what, I'm not.
Or however many you have.
Yeah,
left.
I'm not doing it. I'm partners in a lot of people. People couldn't go in. They want to. Hey, Crack, can you take half my entry or 60%? Boy, what a mistake I made too. There was a kid that works in the offices there where we're starting. By the way, we're starting our Wisecrack podcast up Monday.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're starting that back up again. So the kid was like, Crack, can you please take a little bit here? We collected 400 from the pool from the office, and can you take 600 in each pool? I said, all right. So I gave him $1,200. He went down. And, of course, he lost both entries on Seattle first week. Yeah. But I didn't even know, so it's $1,200 blown. So
what are you thinking this weekend, real quick?
Well, I really don't have a strong thing yet, but maybe this is the week to go for Buffalo.
Yeah.
Even though Vegas just got hit, by the way, live line. Vegas went down to 8.5 now against Buffalo.
A lot of people going to be on Buffalo, including at least one of mine, I think.
Yeah, I think a teaser leg it just became for me. Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
It just got bet, though, just now. It's down to 8.5 now.
Still the biggest line of the weekend.
Yeah.
No, not
Dallas,
anymore.
Dallas.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Dallas is, yeah. Coming back with the Crack Man. Gill Alexander, Kelley, Bill Krackomberger, as I mentioned. So in the end, you're not really sure about your – oh, can we show this video? Let's show this video that you have here. Because we were talking earlier about the cyber hack on MGM properties. And this is this Las Vegas locally taking a sort of handheld video? This is at the Luxor.
These are from other people that had tweeted in to him. So
okay.
This is the line at the Luxor the other day to check in.
Yeah.
So you're going to see it really here, walking in from the casino, and boom, here is the line of people backed up. As, yes, I don't even know if they were on the honor system at this point, but yeah.
But imagine this being your vacation. Like, this is just
brutal. There's some good guys following this on YouTube, too. There's a guy named Jacob. I don't know his last name, sorry. Jacob's Life in Vegas. He's on YouTube. Jacob is following it. Last night, though, he did show some of the properties, machines coming back. I don't know why. But Jacob Orth, that's his name. But, yeah, so there's some good guys that are following it. They're going around today again. If you want to follow them, he's also on Twitter. He's a good guy. But there's a lot of different Las Vegas locally, everyone following this. It will be resolved sooner or later, and I hope sooner because it's not good. It's not good. I feel really bad for people that are here.
I do, too.
Yeah. It's a
the
shame.
employees are taking all the incoming, too. It's not their fault.
So this is
all those guys are going to be
so
– imagine how mad people are, right? And they're just screaming at the employees, and the employers are like, dude, I don't get paid enough for this.
They close some of the pools. Like, they close the pool. No one's allowed to go to the pool. It's 98 degrees outside. You can't go to the pool because they can't charge people to get in. And they're afraid that it'll be a massive, everyone just charging the pool, like coming out to the pool going crazy. So, kind of interesting. But,
it's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
Let me read some tweets because I always appreciate all this. These are so great. This
Very
is
nice people.
Chili Gambler. End the refunds. Maybe I'm too jaded, but I think the books that are offering refunds are taking those refunds from extra juice they're charging for that exact purpose. Bill mentions teasers. Wish minus 110. Teasers were more marketable, and we get those instead.
Absolutely.
Well, it is an accounting thing, right? Like, you don't have to pay marketing dollars. They're refunded, so it still goes into that place on your ledger for sports books. There's a lot of benefits to them doing it that way. Scott Weston just watched Action. Showtime docuseries Action still available. He said, "What happened to Vegas, Dave? And what's your opinion on him?" Also loved Chrissy's book, Then One Day. Thanks for all the content. By the way, Chrissy, if I could just channel Chrissy right now, he's going to be saying, "Please don't put me in the same tweet as Vegas Dave." That's the first thing he would say.
No, yeah.
First of all, Then One Day, Then One Year. Our old buddy Chrissy Andrews, and of course Adele Fusmu, all available at Amazon, and you can go to his Twitter at Andrews Sports to find those books. Vegas Dave, we talked about this during Showtime. We
didn't even know he was on. When I filmed it, but by the time it was over, they wanted us to go for a photo shoot for a billboard. I refused to go.
I was told he was on, and I didn't know. My advice was, you do realize that this could go very poorly, and one of the things that they said to me was, "Oh no, it's so clear that his operation is going to be exposed. It's going to be so evident on the docuseries itself, and people will understand."
People like the polarizing figure, though.
But here's the thing.
I guess.
And they were right. Everything that he did on that was
he
apparent.
Ran terrible, too.
He ran terrible.
Which he's supposed to.
So it felt so exactly what they would have wanted to happen. Right? It could have gone the other way. That would have been awful.
Oh, it would have been awful.
He ran terrible, which was great. But in the end, and I made this point before, and this is more of a testament to the audience or the general psyche of people who watch these kinds of things, there were just as many people, this is anecdotal, but I would say there were just as many people who were mesmerized by his lifestyle as they were the scam itself.
They seen past it.
Yes.
They actually didn't even realize it because they're not street smart. You have to have street smart. You have to have common sense. A lot of people don't have common sense that are in the young crowd that are raised by these computers and phones. And they just didn't see that. All they seen was he had a Bentley truck. And he said after going, I think he went 0-7. And after going, he goes, whenever the camera's on, you guys, how can you call me a loser? Look at the truck I drive. look at the truck you drive. You drive the truck because you're scamming people. I mean, give me a break. You know.
John Massey, the book's refunding action due to discretion and circumventing published House rules. Using discretion is a problematic trend and undermines safeguards in place for bettors. And the way I couch it, it was even just as a warning to the books themselves. I was like, guys, this is going to end poorly for you too. There's going to be a conflict. The inconsistencies are already apparent, and I do believe that gaming in state by state are going to have to shut all this down in the end. Truck, where are you guys broadcasting from? I know you left the South Point and never heard where you were going. Looks like a NASA control room. It's exactly where we're broadcasting from. NASA in Houston.
During the breaks, I'm underneath the desk here with a screwdriver trying to fix the MGM thing.
That's right. Okay, we appreciate all the tweets from everybody, all super kind, and remember, funny is always appreciated. So are you betting, first of all, two questions. One before, are you betting the NFL? Forget Survivor for a second. Are you betting it the same way you always have? Have you ratcheted it back? Are you doing more than ever?
Mean, listen, it's after having a ridiculous preseason. Oh, God. You know, it's something we don't even talk about. But, I mean, so I was on a high for like 4 weeks, winning about, 20 units. And then week one props, which is normally the best prop week out there. Week one props, number 1 week of the season for NFL props because they go by last year's numbers. They have nothing to go by. Was a disaster. I lost on props. Won a teaser, won a total, but props usually the bread and butter. It's funny. I usually don't open up with a teaser either. I bet less and less teasers because of the juice, like that person said that tweeted us there. But yet this week there's some really appetizing props on the board. I'm sorry, not props. Teaser legs. Buffalo teasing through the key numbers of 7 and 3. Dallas teasing through the key numbers of 7 and 3. San Fran, same thing. Maybe some home dogs, which I like Pittsburgh, maybe teasing up from the 2.5 up to through the key numbers. By the way, you want to tease through the 8. I heard Fez say this. I'm stealing something that Fez says, giving him credit though. You want to tease through the 8 this year because of the 2-point conversion, because of more of the tendency for a lot of games to get on 8. So, or you want to play with a book that refunds a push. I know a lot of books don't like to talk about that. Refunds a push. That's right, because I'll say this again.
Yeah.
You can't have a one-team teaser. So if my first leg pushes, if I have a team -2 that lands on 2, the second leg cannot. You can't tease a one team. It's a push.
Yeah.
So we have many books across the leagues. The DraftKings, the FanDuels, the Caesars brand. They all refund you. So
the Fezzik point about teasing through the 8, though.
Interesting.
I did push back on him during the show. If you
did?
recall. Remember, because
Okay.
he said he remember him and Todd are like, it's 80% of teams. When they get from a 14-point deficit to 8, then they go for 2, and I'm like, it's not 80%. Let's relax. on
okay,
that,
but they do look at that because they say that's what it is. The 14, they say, well, the 2-point conversion.
Analytically, what you're supposed to do is when you score the 6, you really are supposed to go for 2 at that point.
Amazing.
I know that makes a lot of people's heads explode.
They go crazy.
But it really is mathematically the way to do it. It's a very simple tree. But I was pushing back on the point that he believed that 80% of teams have already adopted this, and I'm like, there's no chance that 80% of teams adopted this already. It's not. I don't even think it's 50, quite frankly.
Yeah. I want to end on a helpful note.
Please.
And some people say, "Oh, Bill, why do you talk about negative?" I'm trying to help people. What do you think? So when you come to Las Vegas, though, Gill uses the words. I'm going to steal it from him. I love this word. Keep your head on a swivel. I know someone in my building. They live up in the penthouse, though. But I know the husband, the wife, just went out to a country western show, and was in the restroom. It's a great scam. A girl asking to help zipper up her dress. She puts her pocketbook down. The other girl comes in, pushes her down as she's helping. The other lady takes the pocketbook, runs out. By the way, this was a Louis Vuitton pocketbook. Just so happened she got lucky. It was $2,300 in the pocketbook. So this just happened in a casino. Think about how brazen that is.
That is brazen.
You're in a casino, in a bathroom.
Jeez.
You know you're going to be filmed on the way out. They didn't have masks on or anything. That would be they would definitely be exposed then. That happened. And last night in one of the major casinos, someone was robbed in the parking garage coming out. One of the $1 billion resorts, parking garages robbed. That can happen in any casino, though. All I'm saying is you can't really avoid that, I understand. But make sure you keep your head on a swivel. Watch what you're doing. You have to understand, this is a gambling establishment. People follow you in there. People know what you're doing. Valet park. Or if you park self-parking, just be aware of your surroundings. It happened last night. It happened last week. And I just want to tell people that just to keep your eye on things.
Good advice. Bill Krackomberger, at Bill Crackman with the K, does his Fox show. What time on Sunday?
7 to 10 a.m. And we're going to start back with Wisecracks with John Orlando and I next week.
Okay.
I think we have Marcus Allen on next week. So.
Oh, a little Marcus Allen flex.
Little Marcus Allen flex.
All right.
Yeah.
Bill Krackomberger, everybody.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.